YouTube world, welcome to my channel. This video is about the recent heated exchange between Garcelle Beauvais and Erika Jayne from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Before we get started, please be sure to subscribe. Now, let's get into it. So Garcelle was having a birthday celebration. Her family members were there, her sons were there, her castmates were there, and other guests were there. At some point during the celebration, all the ladies were seated and they were just having a chat. And then Erika Jayne, who was clearly drunk, she says to Garcelle, "Where's your hot son?" She says, your boy Oliver is hot. Where's your hot son? You know why? I ain't got SHIT to lose. She's clearly drunk and she's making everyone in the room uncomfortable. So then she starts to call out to Oliver and asks him to come over to her. And Garcelle is just looking so uncomfortable. Everyone's looking uncomfortable and she's flirting with him. Eventually her son comes over. He has a seat and she starts to flirt with him. She's like, are you married? She's just trying to find out his relationship status. And the ladies are like, just trying to hurry up and get this awkward moment over. They're like, he has someone, he's committed, he has 4 children. And then she says, Erika says to Oliver, Garcelle's son, have your baby mama contact me on my DMs. We can get it in 3 ways. It's all good. It was so distasteful. It was so sloppy. It was uncomfortable to watch. And if it was uncomfortable to watch, I know it was uncomfortable for those that were there for Garcelle. It was bad. So at one point, Garcelle says to her son Oliver, let's go. And Erika says to Garcelle, no, sweetheart, I'm talking. If Garcelle didn't get the memo in the previous season, I think she has it by now. In fact, she said in this scene that she was done with Erika Jayne. But for sure from this scene and this episode, Erika does not have any respect for Garcelle. I'll go as far as to say Erika is racist. Very racist. Her lingo in this scene, her jargon screamed racist. Sweetheart, boy, baby mama, your boy is hot. Racist. So the fun didn't stop there. So as Garcelle was leaving the gathering, her son, her youngest son, her 14-year-old son, he went back to the seating area where Garcelle was seated and the rest of the ladies to collect his mother's flowers. And Erika Jayne was still there with another cast member. So he went to collect his mother's flowers for her. And Erika says to him, what are you doing here? Get the F out of here. And she says this multiple times to Garcelle's 14-year-old son. It was so bad that her cast member had to say to her, what are you doing? That's Garcelle's son. So Garcelle's son, Jax, the 14-year-old that was violated, he goes to tell his mom, Garcelle. He says to his mom, I just got violated for grabbing flowers. So Garcelle goes over to Erika and she says, that's not okay. Jax told me what happened. That's not okay. And of course, Erika pretends that she didn't mean anything by it. And she tries to have Jax come over to her, I guess, to pretend apologize. But he never came over. And Garcelle is just like, that's not okay. That was pretty much the end of that. But as Garcelle was leaving, Erika whispers to another castmate that Garcelle was pushing it. That she was pushing it. As if to say, I was being gentle when you approached me about your son, but don't go there. Erika didn't get to apologize to Garcelle's son Jax in that moment, but if she would have, it would not have been a genuine apology. And the statement that she made saying that Garcelle was pushing it is that statement that she made makes it clear that if she would have given an apology, it would not have been a genuine one. So, in another scene, Kyle Richards and her husband, another castmate, and that castmate's husband, they were discussing what happened between Garcelle and Erika and Garcelle's sons. Specifically, they were discussing what happened with the youngest son and how Erika disrespected Garcelle's son. So Kyle Richards, she laughs and she says, "You guys, did you miss when Erika said to Garcelle's 14-year-old son to go F off?" She says, "I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny." And then her husband jumps right in and says, "I think it's great that she did that." So then they pretty much try to chalk it up to her being drunk. The other castmate, she says that she gives her a pass. That's the only reason she gives her a pass. And the fact that it wasn't her son. And she gives it a pass because she was drunk. And then that other castmate husband says that everyone's entitled to a blowout. And he says, like, that same day, she tried to flirt with Garcelle's son. And she tells her other son to F off. So they try to make it seem like, oh, she was drunk and that's why she gets a pass. But the fact that the other castmate says that she was drunk and it wasn't my son. So if it was your son, her being drunk wouldn't matter, right? If it was her son, Erika being drunk would not have been a valid excuse. But because it was Garcelle's son, it was okay. She gets a pass. Kyle and her husband, the other castmate, and that castmate's husband, they're going to have to go into the racist category as well. The way that they sat there and made an excuse for Erika, the way they must have been drunk. Because I don't think that they realized that the camera was rolling. This whole situation was unfortunate for Garcelle, but I know that she'll get her get back. Word to the wise, people are characters and they play dress up all the time. You'll never truly know who a person is unless you spend enough time with them, get them drunk, or make them mad. Well, that's all I have for this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, TTYL.